Imagine finding rare photos of Queen Elizabeth in her youth, a US president in his college days, or the first female professional tattoo artist, and more, all hidden from us for years. These long-forgotten images offer a fascinating glimpse into the untold stories of iconic figures and cultural milestones. Join us as we explore 50 shocking historical photos that have been hidden from us. Number 50. California's Curious Alligator Farm. In 1860, Missouri farmer Valentine Tapley vowed to never cut his beard if Lincoln became president, a promise he kept. By 1896, his beard grew over 12 feet, earning 5th place in a world's longest beard competition. This iconic close-up shows a man whose commitment to his cause literally grew with him, making Tapley's unique legacy tied to Lincoln unforgettable. Talking about man and nature, did you know Mount Rushmore wasn't always adorned with presidential faces? Number 49. Before the Faces. This iconic landmark in South Dakota's Black Hills began as a natural granite formation, sacred to the Lakota Sioux as Six Grandfathers Mountain. In 1927, Gutzon Borglum envisioned it as a shrine to democracy. This before photo shows the untouched granite, a reminder of the mountain's history before its transformation into Mount Rushmore. Take a look at this striking portrait of young Princess Elizabeth. Number 48. A Glimpse of Grace. This striking black and white portrait captures Queen Elizabeth II at 18, long before her record-breaking reign. Taken in 1944 by renowned photographer Lisa Sheridan, the image shows then Princess Elizabeth during World War II. Wearing an elegant outfit and exuding poise, the young royal was already navigating her unique role as heir to the throne. Her involvement in wartime efforts reflected her commitment to duty and resilience, qualities that would define her reign. Number 47. Kent State Tragedy. On May 4, 1970, tragedy struck Kent State University when National Guard troops opened fire on protesters, killing 4 students and injuring 9. Amid the chaos, student photographer John Philo captured a heart-wrenching image of 14-year-old Mary Ann Vecchio grieving beside Jeffrey Miller's body. This Pulitzer-winning photo became a symbol of war's toll and sparked nationwide outrage over government suppression of dissent. Ever wondered what it would be like to see history staring back at you? Number 46. Ralph Lincoln. Ralph Lincoln, an 11th-generation cousin of Abraham Lincoln, bears a striking resemblance to the 16th president. A proud steward of his historic lineage, Ralph participates in Civil War reenactments and public appearances, sharing the Lincoln legacy. This Washington Post photo captures Ralph's likeness, bridging history and the present with his enduring family resemblance. Let's turn to the inspiring story of Ruth Malcolmson, a trailblazing Miss America. Number 45. A 1920s beauty icon. Ruth Malcolmson, crowned Miss America in 1924 at 18, embodied the Jazz Age's beauty ideals. Winning the 4th ever Miss America competition in Atlantic City, she represented natural beauty, a contrast to today's pageants. After her victory, Ruth retired, advocating for individuality and rejecting Hollywood offers during a time of cultural transformation. What happens when a single photograph becomes both a call to action and a window into unspeakable tragedy? Number 44. Marlborough Street. On July 22, 1975, Stanley Forman's camera captured more than a tragic fall. It ignited a national reckoning. Responding to a fire on Marlborough Street, he photographed Diana Bryant, 19, and her goddaughter, 2-year-old Tiara Jones, as a fire escape gave way beneath them. Diana fell to her death, shielding Tiara, who miraculously survived. The image, shocking and unforgettable, won a Pulitzer and spurred fire escape reforms. But it also posed a haunting ethical question. When does raising awareness cross the line into invading grief? The answer still sparks debate today. Number 43. The Johnsons. In this poignant snapshot by Yoichi Okamoto, the Johnson family gathers at their Texas ranch on August 28, 1968. President Lyndon B. Johnson and Lady Bird, seated in bed, watched the chaotic anti-war protests rocking the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Their children, Lucy, Tom, and Linda, sit close, each absorbed in the moment. Amidst a nation deeply divided, this rare, intimate scene captures the family's quiet strength and shared reflection. Okamoto's lens reveals more than history. It frames the humanity behind it. Here's a rare glimpse of a younger version of Bob Ross. Number 42. Bob Ross before the iconic hairdo. This rare image shows a young Bob Ross with a pompadour, a popular 1950s hairstyle, before adopting his signature curly afro. His iconic hair, which emerged in the 1970s, became synonymous with his soothing presence on The Joy of Painting, alongside his gentle voice and easygoing personality, making him a beloved TV icon. Check out this rare behind-the-scenes photo, captured before the era of CGI. Number 41. MGM's classic intro. Before CGI, the iconic MGM lion logo was filmed with real lions. This photo shows Leo, the most recognized of the studio's lions, perched atop wooden platforms as cameramen set up. Leo's roar became synonymous with Hollywood glamour, marking the start of MGM's films for decades, capturing the effort behind the logo. Guess who broke gender barriers to become one of the first female professional tattoo artists in the US? Number 40. Maud Wagner, tattoo pioneer. Maud Wagner is believed to be the first female professional tattoo artist in the US. This image showcases her tattoos of animals, trees, and intricate designs. A self-taught artist, she gained recognition in the early 1900s, breaking gender barriers in the male-dominated craft and paving the way for future female tattoo artists. Just as Maud Wagner reshaped the tattoo industry, some iconic spaces have undergone dramatic transformations too. Take the Oval Office, for example. Number 39. The Oval Office empty. This 2001 image of the Oval Office, stripped of furniture and decor during renovation, offers a rare glimpse at the space before its iconic furnishings. With bare walls and empty floors, the scene highlights the room's architecture and proportions, emphasizing the role of design in creating an environment for historic decisions. Shifting from spaces to symbols, let's take a look at a fascinating piece of US history. Number 38. 1917 dollar bill. This 1917 dollar bill presents a fascinating snapshot of US currency from the early 20th century. Unlike the modern design, this bill features red ink for serial numbers and seals, with no numeral 1 in the corner boxes. While George Washington's portrait remains central, the other design elements, such as the font and intricate engravings, offer a distinctive aesthetic. This version of the currency reflects the evolving nature of US paper money, showing the shift towards modern designs and security features. Its historical value provides a window into the changing economic landscape of the US in the early 1900s. Number 37. The tallest man ever. Robert Wadlow, the Alton giant, holds the record as the tallest person in history at 8 feet, 11 inches. Born in Alton, Illinois, his extraordinary height was due to a medical condition. Despite his size, he led a relatively normal life, attending college before his death at 22 in 1940, leaving a lasting legacy. While Robert Wadlow's extraordinary height made him a giant in history, another individual made her mark for an entirely different reason. Number 36. The shortest woman ever. Pauline Musters, the shortest woman ever recorded by Guinness World Records, stood just 24 inches tall due to dwarfism. Born in the Netherlands, she faced numerous challenges but still gained widespread attention. Despite her small size, Musters became a symbol of resilience, showing that even those with limitations can leave a lasting legacy. Away from heights now, let's turn to a monumental feat of human engineering. Number 35. The Great Wall's End. At the easternmost point of the Great Wall of China, where it meets the Yellow Sea, the wall's remains emerge from the water like a relic of ancient defense. Stretching over 13,000 miles, this section marks the end of one of the most monumental feats of human engineering. The image captures the blending of nature and history as the grey stone of the wall contrasts with the sea's vast expanse. This section stands as a reminder of the wall's original purpose, to protect ancient China from invaders, and offers a poignant glimpse into the past as it meets the present. Number 34. Alan Kurdi. On a quiet Turkish shore near Bodrum, the lifeless body of 3-year-old Alan Kurdi washed ashore, a tragic symbol of innocence lost. Dressed for a hopeful journey, Alan's tiny form, claimed by a capsized boat, became a haunting image of the Syrian refugee crisis. Fleeing war, his family had sought safety in Turkey, only to face tragedy as their dream of reaching Europe ended in mere minutes. Captured by photographer Nilüfer Demir, Alan's heartbreaking image sparked global outrage. a silent cry that demanded the world's attention to the ongoing refugee crisis. Number 33. McCullen's Biafra. During the Federal Republic of Biafra, Don McCullen's photograph of a frail 9-year-old albino child became a symbol of starvation and suffering. His gaunt frame highlighted both famine and social isolation. The powerful image sparked global outrage, leading to actions from governments and the creation of organizations like Doctors Without Borders to aid war victims. While McCullen's image captured the devastating impact of war, history also offers moments where innovation began to shape modern experiences. Number 32. 1925. Airplane interior. In 1925, flying was a luxury experience, even if it meant wicker chairs instead of plush seats. This photo shows the interior of a vintage airplane, where passengers could enjoy a more spacious, relaxed atmosphere. Notably, this was the first instance of an in-flight movie, an innovative concept for its time. The film was shown on a flight from London to Paris, marking a significant milestone in aviation history. While air travel was still in its infancy, this glimpse into the past highlights the early steps toward the modern airline experience we know today. As aviation made its early strides toward modernity, other remarkable milestones captured the public's imagination, such as the world's largest horse. Number 31. Lubba, the giant horse. Meet Lubba, the world's largest horse in the 1930s. Weighing in at an astonishing 3,000 pounds, Lubba was an impressive sight, dwarfing the man standing beside him. Known for his massive size and gentle temperament, Lubba became a sensation and symbol of power in the equine world. Standing under the horse's head, the man in the photo emphasizes just how gigantic this Clydesdale horse was. Lubba's size made him a beloved celebrity, and his legacy continues to capture the imagination of horse enthusiasts and animal lovers alike. Lubba's legendary size contrasts with the poignant story of a violin tied to the Titanic's tragic fate. Number 30. Titanic's violin. This violin belonged to Wallace Hartley, the band leader on the Titanic, and was famously played as the ship sank in 1912. Hartley and his band are remembered for their bravery, continuing to play music to calm passengers as the ship went down. The violin, recovered from the wreckage, became an enduring symbol of courage and sacrifice. This specific instrument, aged and worn, was central to the haunting image of musicians playing amid disaster. Today, it stands as a touching reminder of the Titanic's tragic story and the human spirit's resilience in the face of disaster. Similar to Hartley's violin, Niepce's photograph provides a powerful glimpse into history. Number 29. World's oldest surviving photograph. Captured in 1826 or 1827 by Nicéphore Niepce, View from the window at Le Gras is the world's oldest surviving camera photograph. Taken with a process called heliography, it shows a view of the French countryside from Niepce's window, featuring a distant roofline and tree. This pioneering image took about 8 hours to expose, marking a breakthrough in the history of photography. Today, the photograph holds immense historical value, giving us a rare glimpse into the very beginnings of photographic technology and offering a snapshot of the world as it appeared almost 2 centuries ago. The next photograph offers a rare glimpse into the early years of a genius. Number 28. Albert Einstein at age 3. Here we see a young Albert Einstein at just 3 years old, long before he would change the world with his theories of relativity. Dressed in a traditional outfit of the time, Einstein's childhood appearance contrasts with the famous image of the elderly, iconic physicist. The photograph offers a charming and humanizing glimpse into the early years of a man who would become one of the most brilliant minds in history. Captured by renowned photographers, this early image shows a different side of the man who revolutionized our understanding of the universe. Ever heard of Bloody Saturday? Number 27. Bloody Saturday. On August 28, 1937, amidst the devastation of a Japanese bombing in Shanghai, photographer H.S. Wong captured a heart-wrenching moment. In the chaos of South Station, a crying Chinese baby, his mother dead nearby, became the symbol of war's cruelty. Known as Bloody Saturday, the photo spread worldwide, sparking outrage. The image transcended borders, drawing protests from the US, Britain, and France, and shifting global attitudes toward the conflict in Asia. This haunting photo not only documented tragedy, but ignited a call for change that foreshadowed the world's entry into a broader war. Do you remember that a single iceberg was responsible for one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history? Number 26. The Titanic's iceberg. This haunting black and white photo shows the iceberg that famously sank the RMS Titanic on April 14, 1912. After striking the massive iceberg, the ship's hull was ruptured, leading to its tragic sinking. While the iceberg itself remained a relatively small yet fatal mass of ice, its collision with the Titanic caused one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history, claiming over 1,500 lives. Despite its icy indifference, this iceberg remains forever linked to the tragedy that reshaped maritime safety regulations and left an indelible mark on popular culture. Ever wondered what the ancient wonders of the world looked like before modern restoration? Number 25. Chichen Itza. This photo reveals the ancient Mayan temple of Chichen Itza as it appeared before restoration efforts in the late 19th century. Captured by French photographer Désiré Charnay, the image shows the temple nestled atop a wild hill, partially covered in vegetation. Known as El Castillo, or the Temple of Kukulkan, it was a central structure in the Mayan city of Chichen Itza. The pyramid, dedicated to the serpent god Kukulkan, was left in a state of ruin, echoing centuries of neglect before restoration efforts helped preserve its cultural legacy for future generations. Let's look back at the first step in proving humans could travel to space. Number 24. Ham the chimpanzee in space. This historic image features Ham the chimpanzee, the first ape to be launched into space in 1961. Ham's mission was crucial in testing the cognitive abilities of animals in zero gravity and assessing the safety of human space missions. His journey to space aboard the Mercury Redstone 2 involved completing a series of tasks in a training module. Completing the mission, Ham returned to Earth unharmed, marking a key moment in space exploration. He became an unsung hero, proving that human space travel was possible and laying the groundwork for future astronaut missions. Ever wonder how a swimsuit could change history? Let's see. Number 23. Annette Kellerman. In 1907, Australian-born swimmer Annette Kellerman faced arrest for indecency after wearing a revolutionary one-piece bathing suit at Revere Beach, Massachusetts. Her daring attire, which replaced the cumbersome pantaloons of the time with a form-fitting bodysuit, was considered scandalous by conservative standards. Kellerman's bold move not only sparked controversy, but also helped redefine women's swimwear, inspiring others to embrace more practical, revealing styles. Her arrest became a pivotal moment in the fight for women's rights and body freedom, reflecting broader societal shifts during the early 20th century. Much like Annette Kellerman's defiant act, another individual became a sensation in the public eye for reasons beyond the norm. Number 22. Gay Jewel, the world's heaviest. In 1899, Gay Jewel was declared the world's heaviest man after his extraordinary weight became a topic of global fascination. Weighing over 700 pounds, Jewel's size was the result of extreme obesity, which he carried with pride while leading a life that included playing the violin and making others laugh. He became a spectacle, appearing in various public shows and earning attention from media outlets like The Strand magazine. Despite his weight, Jewel's personal charm and love of music earned him a unique place in history, symbolizing the era's obsession with unusual human feats. Now let's talk about something that has withstood the test of time in a different way. Number 21. Britain's oldest door. This is a glimpse of Britain's oldest known door, crafted nearly a millennium ago in the 1050s. Situated at Westminster Abbey, the wooden door has witnessed centuries of royal history, from coronations to funerals. It stands as a testament to medieval craftsmanship, still preserved today despite centuries of wear. Westminster Abbey itself, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has been a centre of the British monarchy, with the door being a silent witness to the country's enduring legacy. From ancient history to more recent scandals, some legacies are far less noble. Number 20. Charles Ponzi. This is Charles Ponzi, the notorious figure whose name became synonymous with fraudulent investment schemes. In the early 20th century, Ponzi promised investors massive returns on international postal reply coupons. However, instead of legitimate profits, he used funds from new investors to pay returns to earlier ones, a classic Ponzi scheme. His scam collapsed in the 1920s, leaving thousands of people defrauded. His name continues to be associated with such schemes, a cautionary tale of greed and deception. While one person's name became a byword for fraud, another's would come to represent a milestone in American culture. Number 19. Margaret Gorman. This is Margaret Gorman, the first woman crowned Miss America in 1921. At just 16 years old, she became the inaugural winner of the competition, which was then known as the Intercity Beauty Contest. Gorman's victory marked the beginning of what would evolve into one of the world's most famous pageants. Her win made her a national figure, and she became a symbol of the changing roles of women in the 1920s. From pageants to buried treasures, some moments reshape history. Here's one of them. Number 18. Tut's Tomb Artifacts. This remarkable image showcases a small portion of the treasures unearthed in King Tutankhamun's tomb, discovered in 1922 by archaeologist Howard Carter. Among the stunning artifacts is an entire chariot, symbolizing the wealth and craftsmanship of ancient Egypt. King Tut's tomb contained over 5,000 objects, including golden masks, jewelry, chariots, and furniture, offering an unparalleled glimpse into the life and death of the young pharaoh, who died around the age of 18. Shifting gears from ancient artifacts, let's dive into a quirky job from history. Number 17. Knocker-ups. Before alarm clocks, people called knocker-ups were employed to wake others by tapping on windows or doors in the early morning. The knocker-up, armed with a long stick, would walk the streets to ensure workers, particularly in industrial areas, rose on time. This job was especially common in England and Ireland before the invention of modern alarm clocks, reflecting an era when personal punctuality was maintained by community efforts. And speaking of unique roles and curiosities from history, some individuals became famous for their extraordinary features rather than their occupations. Number 16. Thomas Wedder's nose. This is a wax sculpture of Thomas Wedder's, whose 7.5-inch nose is believed to be the largest ever recorded. Wedders, born in 1781, was a showman with a bizarre claim to fame, and his nose became an attraction at fairs. Despite the oddity, Wedder's large nose was likely a source of pride, marking his place in history as one of the most memorable figures in the world of human curiosities. From an extraordinary nose to an extraordinary moment in history, let's shift to a scene that defined a nation. Number 15. Lincoln's second inauguration. Captured during Abraham Lincoln's second inauguration on March 4, 1865, this historic photo shows the momentous event in Washington, D.C. Lincoln, amid the Civil War, was re-elected for a second term, a crucial period in American history. The image features a crowd gathered for the ceremony, with Lincoln himself positioned behind the podium, his presence symbolizing hope for the nation's reunification after the war. But Lincoln's impact wasn't just felt in politics, it inspired some truly unexpected personal commitments. Number 14. Valentine Tapley. In 1860, Missouri farmer Valentine Tapley vowed to never cut his beard if Lincoln became president, a promise he kept. By 1896, his beard grew over 12 feet, earning 5th place in a world's longest beard competition. This iconic close-up shows a man whose commitment to his cause literally grew with him, making Tapley's unique legacy tied to Lincoln unforgettable. From one striking symbol of dedication to another, born of desperation, history never fails to surprise. Number 13. The haunting uniforms. These eerie outfits from the 1600s were worn by plague doctors, not costumes but practical uniforms to combat the bubonic plague. The long gowns and beaked masks, filled with herbs or vinegar-soaked sponges, aimed to purify air and protect against miasma, bad smells thought to spread disease. Though ineffective today, they highlight the extreme measures taken during one of history's deadliest pandemics. The image is a chilling reminder of the dark realities of early medicine. Number 12. Richard Nixon's football days. Before becoming president, Richard Nixon was a college football player at Whittier College. Though often benched as a second-string tackle, his determination on and off the field reflected the perseverance he later displayed in politics. Nixon's time at Whittier shaped his competitive spirit and resilience, qualities he carried throughout his career. This photograph offers a glimpse into the youthful days of a man who would rise to lead the nation. However, not all moments in history are shaped by the resolve of future leaders. Number 11. The cost of war. In April 1968, Art Greenspon captured a haunting image near Hugh. A first sergeant of the 101st Airborne raised his arms, not just to guide a medevac, but as if pleading for relief. After a brutal firefight that left nearly half his company dead, survivors endured 2 agonizing days waiting for rescue. This Pulitzer-nominated photograph exposed the anguish of war, a powerful reminder of the nation's growing struggle with dissent. Next is a glimpse into an era defined by courage. Number 10. Early Antarctic expeditions. The early 20th century marked a golden age of Antarctic exploration, as fearless adventurers braved the planet's harshest environment. This rare photo from the 1920s captures the spirit of these expeditions, showcasing explorers navigating vast ice fields, erecting makeshift camps, and relying on sled dogs and rudimentary gear. Figures like Ernest Shackleton and Roald Amundsen epitomized courage, pushing human limits in the quest for discovery. Number 9. Catherine Switzer. In 1967, Catherine Switzer made history as the first woman to officially run the Boston Marathon, defying societal norms and race rules barring women. In this now iconic photograph, race official Jock Semple is seen lunging at Switzer, attempting to tear off her bib number mid-race. Her running companions intervened, shielding her from removal. Undeterred, Switzer finished the marathon, sparking a movement that led to women being officially allowed to compete in 1972. Her courage forever changed sports history, but history's bold moments aren't confined to the racetrack. Number 8. Tea on the Pyramid. In the early 20th century, tourists visiting the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt could freely climb to its summit, often turning the iconic structure into an unconventional social setting. This black and white photograph from the era captures visitors lounging in chairs atop the ancient stones, enjoying tea parties with friends against the backdrop of the sprawling desert. This practice is now prohibited to preserve the pyramid's integrity and cultural significance. Number 7. The Michelin Man. The original design for the Michelin Man, known as bibendum, was far from the friendly figure we recognize today. Created in 1898 by French artist Marius Roussillon, the first version depicted a more sinister skeletal figure made of stacked tires, with glowing eyes and a somewhat unsettling expression. This early design, though iconic, was later softened to appeal to a broader audience, evolving into the cheerful, rotund mascot we know today. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, another iconic event was taking place. Number 6. Bridge painters. This photograph from 1914 captures workers high above New York's East River, perched on scaffolding as they maintain the bridge's massive steel cables. The Brooklyn Bridge, completed in 1883, required continuous upkeep due to its exposed position. This image highlights the daredevil nature of bridge painting, where workers would spend hours suspended in mid-air, battling strong winds and challenging conditions. Elsewhere, groundbreaking ideas were taking shape. Number 5. Nikola Tesla. In 1899, inventor Nikola Tesla stood proudly in his Colorado Springs laboratory beside his magnifying transmitter, a high-voltage coil designed to transmit electricity wirelessly. This device was part of Tesla's groundbreaking work on wireless energy and radio waves. Tesla's experiments in this lab pushed the boundaries of electrical engineering and paved the way for modern wireless communication. Although many of his ideas were ahead of his time and underappreciated during his lifetime, but what could be more captivating than a spectacle that pits extremes against each other? Number 4. Unusual match. This vintage boxing poster promotes an unusual and curious match between two extreme personalities, the world's thinnest man and the world's fattest man. The men, dressed in old-fashioned boxing attire, strike poses in front of a painted backdrop, capturing the bizarre nature of the spectacle. This publicized fight, part of a broader trend in the late 19th century of showcasing physical oddities, combined athleticism and entertainment to draw crowds and attention. Number 3. Tutankhamun's seal. In 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter uncovered the unbroken seal of King Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings, an event that stunned the world. The tomb had remained undisturbed for over 3,000 years, preserving its treasures. The seal, marked with symbols of royal authority, signified that the tomb had never been looted, offering a rare glimpse into the wealth and ritual of ancient Egypt. Shifting from the mysteries of ancient Egypt, let's take a look at an unusual moment from the early 20th century. Number 2. Potato vending machine. For a brief moment in history, you could purchase fresh potatoes from a vending machine. This rare image from the early 20th century features a woman standing in front of a vending machine, which dispensed potatoes instead of the usual candy or soda. This oddity highlights the innovation of the time and reflects the era's experimental approach to vending technology. although this concept never gained widespread popularity. Remember the awe surrounding the Titanic before its tragic fate? Number 1. The Titanic. This iconic image captures the RMS Titanic, the largest ship in the world at the time, in all her glory above water. Taken in 1912 before the tragic sinking, it shows the grandeur of the ship, which was hailed as unsinkable. Just days after this photograph, Titanic struck an iceberg and sank during its maiden voyage, claiming the lives of over 1,500 passengers and crew, cementing the ship's place in history as one of the greatest maritime disasters. Which of these powerful photographs grabbed your attention the most?